All right, so hopefully the retake test went okay. Um, I won't be home until Saturday, so I won't get those graded till like Wednesday. Oh, excuse me, until like maybe Sunday, Monday for sure. So, anyways, this is our new chapter about triangles. It's going to be about relationships within a triangle itself. Okay, so the first thing is the midsegment of a triangle is parallel to the base. Okay, so this is the midsegment right here. Okay, it's parallel to the base and it is half as long. Okay, also the outside of the triangle, the sides, so AD and CD would be congruent to each other. CE and BE would be congruent to each other. They're not congruent to, so BE is not congruent to CD. Just one side, if you split it in half, is congruent to each other. Okay? And then this is another important piece of information. Like I said, the midsegment is half the base, okay, and it is parallel to the base. Okay, so what a midsegment does, in a sense, is it is splitting these two sides in half. Okay, so each side, because E would be the midpoint of CB, D would be the midpoint of AC. Okay? Things do not work how I want them to. All right, so we're going to take a look at this and see what we can discover. So RU, right here, what would that be congruent to? Okay, remember that U and V are part of this midsegment. Okay, so they're dividing the sides into congruent parts. So RU would be congruent to TU or UT, however you want to name it. Okay, TV, which is this, I should erase these marks right here so it's easier to see. TV would be congruent to VS. Okay, UV, okay, which again is my mid-segment. What is that in relation to RS? Okay, well, we learned earlier that it is half. So UV is half of RS. Okay, and it is also parallel to RS. Those are supposed to be triangles on there, but apparently my stylus doesn't draw the best triangles. So it's just going to have to be what it is. All right, so next triangle. CD would be congruent to AD because this is the mid-segment. Okay, DE is half of AB. Okay, DE is also parallel to AB. Okay, draw better. Yeah, that's not any better. Okay, and BE, so I'm going to erase that. BE would be congruent to CE. So as long as you remember that is the mid-segment. Okay, now we're going to be given some values here to solve. So RS, which is this, okay, that is parallel, whoops, to TP. Okay, I also know that TP is half of RS. So 2 times TP would make RS. So if TP is 30, RX would be 60. Okay? So RQ would be this side. Okay, and so T would be the midpoint of that line. So if TQ is 25, RT would be 25. So the whole thing would be 50. Following along? Try to erase this as I go. Okay, SP. So they're telling me that SQ is 40 and SP would be half. Okay. Okay, again, I said RQ is 50. They want me to find UP. Okay, UP would be the mid-segment, and it would be half of the base. So UP would be half of 50. So UP would be 25. So basically all these relationships, the outside are congruent and the other parts are, the mid-segments are half. Okay, so TU would be this. Okay, I know that that's half of that base because TU would be the mid-segment. The base is 40, so TU would be 20. So just for reference, RU would be congruent to US, RT would be congruent to TQ, SP would be congruent to PQ. Okay, TU would be half of SQ, because that's the mid-segment to the base. UP would be half of RQ, and TP would be half of RS. Okay, so that's the relationship within that triangle. Okay. So in triangle ACB, E, F, and D are the midpoints. CA is 28. Okay, EF is 20. And CF is 22. They want me to find DF, AB, and ED. Okay? So DF would be the mid-segment corresponding with that base. Okay, so CA is 28. DF is half of CA. So DF is half of 28. So that would be 14. Okay, now I get with this stylus, I scribble, and so it's hard to see. Okay, now they want AB, which is this. Let me change colors. Here is AB. Okay, well, EF is half of AB. Okay, or 2 times EF would be AB. So AB would be 40. Okay, so 40 is AB, 20 is EF, and it's half. Now they want ED, so let's erase this hot mess here. Okay, so they tell me that CF is 22. Well, FB would also be 22 because these guys are congruent. So ED, right there, would be half of CB. And if CB is 44, 22 plus 22, ED would also have to be 22. Okay, this stuff should be a little bit easier than the last stuff we did. At least I'm hoping so. All right, so these can get confusing, but you have to make sure that you set this up the correct way. And what I mean by that is make sure you get the half on the right thing. Okay, so 5x is the mid-segment. That's half of the base. Okay, so what is half of 45? And I'm trying to give you guys time to calculate this. 22.5. Okay, divide that by 5, and x is 4 1/2. Okay, so don't put the half with this. Okay, that's the mid-segment. That is half of the base. So half of 17 is 8 1/2. Ooh, delay. Okay, so then I add 4. X is 12 1/2. Okay, so you can actually figure that out. If you take 12 1/2 minus 4, you would get this to be 8.5, and that is half of 17. Okay, like I said, don't take half of 8. Okay, take half of the base, because that's the correct way to do it. So 8 is half of 5x minus 4. Oh, what did I just do? Okay, I pushed a button. So I need to take half of 5 and half of 4. Okay, so I'm going to add 2 to 8. And then divide by 2.5. And I get 4. So if I were to plug that back in, I would have 5 times 4 is 20 minus 4. That would be 16, and 8 is half. Okay, so then I know I did that correctly. So often kids want to take half of the wrong thing, and then it gets us all messed up, and we're just in trouble then. Okay, so x plus 2 is the mid-segment, and it's half of, I'm going to run out of room, the base. Okay, let me redo that. I knew I would run out of room. Okay, so x plus 2, half of 3 is 1.5, half of 8 is 4. Okay, I'm going to minus x first. And I get 0.5x minus 4. Add 4. Okay, I'm going to do it over here. Then I get 6 equals 0.5x and divide. And x is 12. Okay, so let's plug that back in and see what we get. So 12 times 3 is 36 minus 8 is 28. 12 plus 2 is 14, and 14 is half of 28. So then I know I did that correctly. I know that this is kind of a mess, but hopefully you get the gist of it and can follow along. All right, now in this problem, each letter A, B, C, D is actually different. It doesn't go off of one another. Okay, so let's remember that. Now, we need to also remember that those two lines are parallel. Okay, so we've got corresponding angles there and corresponding angles here. Okay, and corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, so remember that when we're working out this problem here. So UXY is 60, and they want the measure of V. Okay, well, I just said that those are corresponding because the lines are parallel, so that would also be 60. Okay, so we use parallel lines and transversals a lot when we do a lot of things in geometry, actually. Okay, so now if the measure of W is 45, they want UYX, which is that. Okay, so that guy would also be 45 degrees. Okay, so here's my transversal. So remember, corresponding angles are in corresponding positions. These are both on top of the line. Okay, let's erase that. And look at, so if XY is 50, what is the base? Okay, I know XY is half of VW. So 2 times the mid-segment would be VW. Okay, so 2 times 50 is 100. Okay, so that's VW. Okay, and like I said, now D is a completely separate problem. They switch it up now. So if they say VW is 110, I know that XY is half. That looks like XYZ is half of VW. So XY is half of 110. So it would be 55. Okay, and up here too, they tell me that that's the midpoint, that's the midpoint, so I know that that's the mid-segment. Okay, that's how that works. Sorry if you hear me drinking, I'm having some coffee. And I try to be quiet, but when you talk straight through like this, it makes your voice really hoarse. So, FYI. And please, I hope you're good for the sub. That's my number 1. Okay, on to the next one. Okay. So, GHJ has midpoints of A, B, and C. So they're telling me that AB is 3x plus 8, and GJ, which would be this, is 2x plus 24, and they want the length of AB. Okay, so I know that AB, and sometimes it helps to write this out in letters so you get your numbers in the right place. So I know AB is half of GJ. So plug your numbers in. AB is half of GJ. I did definitely not leave myself enough space, but we're going to just go with it. Okay, so 3x plus 8, half of 2 is 1, half of 24 is 12. Okay, subtract 1x and you get 2x plus 8 equals 12. Okay, subtract 8 and then divide by 2. Okay, am I done? I hope you are answering no. Because they want this. So AB is 3x plus 8. Ooh, that's bad. Okay, so if x is 4, 3 times 4, 12 plus 8. So AB would be 20. I need to find myself a pen that is better than the one I have because it's very hard to write small. All right, so let's move on to the next one, okay? And I'm going to do some erasing. You can always go back and watch this video. Good thing about videos, pause it, whatever you need to do. All right, so AC, which is this, and HJ. Okay, I know AC is half of HJ. Okay, so AC, 3x minus 5, half of HJ, 4x plus 2. I started up there so then I don't run out of room this time. Okay, so half of 4 is 2. Half of 2 is 1. Okay, move the 2x. And add 5, and you get x is 6. Okay, now look closely. They want just that. Okay, I'm given HJ, so let's find what HJ is, which would be 4 times 6 plus 2. So HJ would be 26, so half of that would be 13. Okay, tomorrow you will get your worksheet. You have a skill builder due Friday. Okay, it looks long, but it's not. Same 20 questions it always is. It's just that there's so many diagrams that it looks longer. So you can work on that. Tomorrow you'll get the worksheet for this. We will go over the worksheet Friday, and then I'll have section 5.2 notes hopefully for you. So anyways, that's it. I hope you guys are behaving. Get these notes done, please, so you have them to do for your worksheet. And that is all I've got. Have a good night.